Ooh, that felt good.
All right, we are here and getting set up. We are at Restoule. We will be here for 5 days, 4 nights. We're in Site 13, which is in the Bells Putt Campground, Bells Point Campground. There you go. So we're in the Bells Point Campground. And as you can see, John is getting set up here with our chairs and our table. The tents are set up and the pups have their pen, so they are happy. And we are planning on having just a very relaxing first evening, seeing as we literally went from one place to the next, and now it's finally time to chill. So one of the catches when you're camping with a reactive dog is that privacy isn't always the best on campsites that you see in like a provincial park setting. So we're here at Restoule, we're on campsite 13. And as you can see, like the whole front of it to the road is wide open. We've got a kid across the road. The bathrooms are right there. Like there's a lot of reasons for him to be reacting. So what we've done, and the first tip that I will share for anybody who's looking for a way to make this work, is we've created a boundary using the tents. Now, if I come out here and I show it from the back, you'll see we've got the privacy panels over on the Kuma and we've got the tent. It creates essentially a barrier that's going to stop anybody from being able to see in, but it also stops him from seeing out. So that he is safely tucked away back in here where those triggers are minimized as much as possible to set him up for success. Right, bud?
Hello, and welcome to Cooking with John. Just to let you know, before you start your fire, you may have to marinate your provincial park firewood in the sun. Rotate as needed. Somebody's in their happy place. Smile.
I think someone's liking the scritches. Look at that face of happiness. You're a good girl, Willow.
She done.
All right, and we are here to check out the iconic Fire Tower Trail. This is the #1 trail here at Restoule, but of course first, we gotta clean our boots off before we hit it. So one thing that's a little different on this trip from our usual hiking trips is that Lucifer, little man here, is wearing a muzzle. Now, there's 2 reasons for this. Number 1, this is his new muzzle from Mia's Muzzles. It's a custom muzzle just specifically to fit him, and we want him to get used to wearing it. Number 2, because this trail is so popular, there's a higher chance we're going to run into other people, and it's just a safety precaution given he is reactive. I just wanted to take a quick minute and talk a little bit more about the muzzle here I mentioned earlier that he is wearing. And a shout out to Mia's Muzzles. She is an Ontario-based custom dog gear company who makes these custom vinyl muzzles. They are incredible. This one in particular is her new adventurer line, which means that they have even more holes for ventilation to ensure that he can breathe. He's got the open nose hole so that he can sniff all the sniffs because he loves sniffing the sniffs. Of course, he has a treat hole because how else am I going to give him his Charlie Bears when we're on the trail? And it's all done in his signature red. I also got the optional buckle just to make it easier to put it on and off, but he doesn't mind wearing it at all. It's comfortable for him and it gives that added layer of protection. So being that he is reactive to men, there is a case that, you know, if we're on a trail like this, you get into a very narrow part of the trail and he's going to have to pass really close to a man that he may not like being close to. So this is just a little added security for all of us. But shout out one more time to Mia from Mia's Muzzles. We are so excited to be partnering up with her to help kind of spread the word and break some of the stigma about muzzling dogs and reactive dogs, because they are incredible pups. They are good dogs too. They deserve all the love and all of the adventures. So we are going to help spread that word. Hey, Lucifer? I'll drop her link in the description below. It's an easy supper tonight, but apparently Lucifer thinks he should have some too. Willow, shh, sweet girl. No. She's adjusting well to being in the provincial park, but definitely needing a little extra encouragement. But little man here is setting a good example. He thinks that means he should get something. Oh, the head tilt is strong in that one. Hi, Goose. All right, let's head out on the Rangers Point Trail. We got the heads up about this one from one of our community members. And she said that there are some absolutely beautiful views for these guys to check out. So let's get going. Are you a happy boy? Hi.
Now if you look all the way back there, I'll zoom in with the camera. You can see the fire tower. That's the trail we did last night. Way up there. Just reached Angel's Point Trail, where the off-leash is at, so Will and I are going to check that out. And maybe Goose and Britt will join us. Alright, so we just reached the off-leash area. Looks pretty big, but also please clean up after your pet. Willow is off right now, just waiting for Britt and Luce to come, but just a little quick tour of the off-leash area. Looks like there is a little bit of a dog beach for these guys. Picnic table for you and the fam. Come down here. This is a whole play area for them. Not bad. Now the fence does go up to the end, but it looks like it's seen better days, so just cautious on that one side. But yeah, not too bad, eh, Willow? Hi, Goose. Hi, little man. Go play. Oh, here we go.
Wait for me, I've got little legs.
So we are at the dog beach area, but show the boat launch first. Right, Willow? Come on. Yeah, good girl, Willow. I got Willow with me. So we're just checking this out. And then you can see Britt and Lucifer over there. Whoa! And just Willow's spinning me around. Anyways, this is the dog-friendly beach. We're the only dog, well, I guess we're the only people with dogs here. There are a couple other people here, but yeah. And I don't know why my camera is doing that. Yeah. This camera's fixed. I don't know why it was stuck on that angle, but back here with Britt and Luce. Hey, bud?
He's not sure.
Hey, Goose. Hey. Enjoying getting your feet soaked?
He's like, I don't mind this dog beach, but I like the other one better, Dad.
Yeah.
I can't run with my sister at this one. Hey, Goose.
I think Willow's just done.
Yeah, Willow's exhausted. There's no desire to run left in her.
Alright, it is pack up day. The tent has been emptied. John's playing Tetris with the vehicle. We're gonna stop for a moment for coffee and breakfast. What have you got?
Oatmeal.
Quick, easy breakfast for our final day here. Now, we are not stopping here. So while we are packing up and leaving Restoule today, this is not our last stop of this adventure. So stay tuned. We will have one more park coming to you. That is Fairbank Provincial Park. So hit that subscribe button and make sure that you are following along to find out how our next adventure goes with these two crazy little pups. We'll see you in Fairbank. Okay, so as you can see from behind us, it is snowy, it is cold. We are really delayed on getting this out.
Thank you.
And it's largely because life happened. We had another holiday quickly after this big trip because that was August. Then we moved into September and our big September Halliburton trip. In November, I actually flew down to Colorado with Pippin to speak at a pet industry event. Then there was the holidays and a lot of other personal things, one of which you might find out later, happened kind of in between. But needless to say, after going through to edit our footage and realizing we were missing the footage for our review,
Yep.
we're back to re-record that and share it with you. I do want to say we did take some time to go through, rewatch our video, refresh ourselves on this trip so that we made sure that we shared our true feelings about Restoule with all of you. So let's get started with our big final review.
Yeah, let's get to that, or else it's going to be another 6 months. All right, so getting to Restoule, it took about 4 hours from the Grey Bruce County area, which going from Toronto to Restoule is roughly just shy of 4 hours. So you're looking for like a day trip at least to get there.
Momentary delay. One of the reasons we were late is interrupting our video recording.
Hi, I'm John. Nice to meet you.
So as we were recording that, this one was rubbing against the tripod. And for those of you who are familiar with the pack, you'll realize she's a little lighter in color than Jinx and Pippin.
Yeah.
So this is Thea. Thea is a little 1-year-old dilute tortie who randomly showed up at our front door here in the cabin in the middle of nowhere one day in the cold and snow just before Christmas. And I couldn't leave her out there with the snow and the coyotes. And yeah, you can play with her after we put her down, okay? So we took her in and we searched for her family, and sadly it looked like nobody was looking for her. So we're assuming she was dumped. And then made the decision to keep her here. So this is the newest member of the pack. Everybody meet Thea. Thea, meet everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And she's just super playful and wants to go, go, go. So
Yeah.
it's, like I said, she's only a year old. She's very high energy. But when I opened the door, because I saw this cat standing right at my front door, she literally walked right up to me and let me pick her up. Like, she's the sweetest. She's definitely not a stray.
No, definitely
Sweetest,
not.
affectionate, super playful girl. So you're going to see a lot of her as we move into our 2025 adventures. But back to Restoule. So now that John's explained how to get there.
Yeah.
Camping. There are so many different camping options depending on what your preferred type of camping is. So obviously there's car camping. We showed that in our video. They aren't the most private sites in the world, but a lot of them are set up in a way that you can make them private. There's electrical, there's non-electrical. There were some that looked like they were more of like a pull-through, really set up for a trailer style, whereas there's others that are a little bit more private and well-suited for a tent camper or somebody with a much smaller trailer or van. There are walk-in sites, so if you want that little extra bit of privacy, there are sites you can walk into that kind of takes you off the main road. There are 2 group sites there if you have a larger group of people. There are backcountry sites. They are paddling, so you have to be experienced in paddling in, whether it's a canoe or a kayak, to your location and being able to bring your gear with you. But that option is there. And unlike a lot of the parks that we review, there is a seasonal program. So if you really fall in love with the park, you want to go there all the time, and you have no desire to visit multiple parks, you can get a seasonal site there and just keep going back to Restoule for the rest of your season.
Yeah, not bad at all. Okay, so for you water sport lovers out there, you are able to boat there. You can canoe and kayak. Canoe and kayaking. You can rent those if you don't bring your own. Which those also include life jackets, but it does not include life jackets for your loved ones.
They are loved ones.
for your adventure dogs. So you'd have to bring your own for those guys. Which I mean, we already have those. So, but yeah.
And pro tip, if you have an adventure cat you want to introduce to being out in the water, you can use the smallest size of dog life jackets for cats, or there are specialty life jackets made just for cats. So I can link one of those in as an example in the comments.
Yep. People who love to fish, there's a lot of species of fish at Restoule. For example, there's lake trout, walleye, smallmouth bass, pike, and muskie. We didn't put any rods out, but maybe next time we go there, I'll bring a rod there. But yeah, there's people fishing there, and it seems to be like smallmouth was like the fish to be getting at that time, but all those other species are found there.
Yeah, lots of options for the fishing lovers. Now, if you prefer to stay on land for your activities, there's also a ton to do hiking. So there are 6 different trails available. They range in difficulty and length. We did a couple of them. Willow, you're shaking the tripod. We did a couple of them. We did the Fire Tower Trail, which you saw, which has an amazing view up. It goes right up to where the fire tower is, and you can see the views all on the way up and on the way down. That is arguably the most popular trail at Restoule. Everybody talks about the Fire Tower Trail. But we reached out to the person who recommended us, and I actually meant to give her a shout out in the intro and I forgot, so I'll do it now. Shout out to Jennifer from our Facebook community. When we were trying to figure out what parks we wanted to go to and where to check out, she kept recommending it. Every time it came up, recommendations, she was there. Gotta go to Restoule. I love Restoule. Check out Restoule. And it didn't disappoint. We were so happy we made this trip. But while we were there, I did reach out to her, and I mentioned that we had hiked the Fire Tower Trail. We were trying to choose one of the other options, and asked if there was one that maybe she thought would be more suited for us and our pups and their style of hiking and exploring. And she told us to check out the Rangers Point Trail because it had spots to swim. And as anybody who has been following us for any length of time knows, Lucifer is all about the opportunity to swim everywhere he goes. So if there's a swimming place, a swimming spot on a trail, like that is heaven in Lucifer's eyes. And to say that the Rangers Point Trail was heaven for him would be an understatement. There were multiple places we would stop where it was like this perfect swimming spot for him. There was a picnic table if you wanted to, bring a meal in there or have a snack or just rest. Like it was just this gorgeous little, it was short, it wasn't overly hard, but it was a gorgeous spot to take your pets. So highly, highly recommend checking that out. And thanks again to Jennifer for that.
Yeah, I think that actually would get the Lucifer seal of approval. All right, beaches. So Restoule has 3 beaches there. But the main one that we actually stuck to was the Bells Point Beach, which was right at the docks there.
And that's just because it was the dog beach.
Yeah,
the other
just
2 were
because it was
human
dog
only.
beach, yeah. So the other 2 are human friendly, just not dog friendly, but the Bells Point Beach is dog friendly. These 2 they liked it, but I think they were a little too tired out from
we did the Rangers Point Trail just before that. So they had done all that swimming and hiking, and they were just a little tired to enjoy a beach. But I think if we were to bring them like at the start of the day,
maybe
they would have been all over that.
Different story for sure.
It was definitely smaller than a lot of the dog beaches we like, but it was still nice, and it would be a good place to bring your pup if you wanted to just go for a quick swim versus hiking into those swimming spots on the trail. But personally for us, and we have all intentions of going back to this park, spoiler, but for us, I think that there would be a different option that we would prefer over this beach. So whether it's hiking the Rangers Point Trail and swimming in there, or what I'm about to share with you, there were just other options that work better for our dogs and their preferences when it came to a beach. But if, for example, you have a dog that maybe they're not up to hiking and they're just like a more chill, laid back, I just want to get my paws wet or, check out the water, this would be perfect. It's just, it's a smaller beach for high energy dogs that want to go. Speaking of high energy dogs.
Yep.
There is no shortage of energy in our house. You guys know Willow gets it in very short spurts. That's part of the sighthound in her, which is part of the Anatolian Shepherd. They date back to sighthounds, so they get really fast, really crazy spurts of energy, and then lays around the rest of the day. And then Lucifer, being a German Shepherd Australian cattle dog, screwed that up a little bit. He has no off switch until we trained him how to relax. So relax for him is actually a task, and we have to tell him to relax. Otherwise, he just wants to go, go, go. Like, he wants to play, he wants to fetch, he wants to swim, he wants to hike. He is so high energy, and there was the perfect opportunity at this park, and it's really what sold us on trying it out, and that is their off-leash dog exercise area. Now, there are a few parks that do have off-leash dog parks. They're like fenced field areas that they can run and play, but this was so much more than that. Mm-hmm. So you have to access it on the Angels Point Trail, which is right in between Putts Point and Kettle Point campgrounds. And you take a trail back in, and there's this big fenced area that has trees and some field area, and the best part, a beach, their own personal beach in the off-leash dog area. Now, I don't know if it's that it's less known, or if it's that we were there during the week. But every time we went there, it was completely open. There was nobody there, which was great because, as we know, Lucifer is a little bit skeptical of people he doesn't know. And by that, I mean he is fear reactive to strangers. And being that there was nobody there, we were able to let them go and run off leash and have fun. And I mean, you guys saw in the video, it was the best highlight of our whole trip. Like, I would go back there just for that off leash area.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the first time we've actually like let her go. So there was some other footage that was like portrait mode that we couldn't really share in the video, but there's some video out there that she just blows my mind on how fast she is.
Now, I will put a caveat out there. It is a leashed area for off-leash dogs. However, if you have a dog who is determined to get away, if you have a dog who it tends to wander when they're out in the water, the fencing comes down to the water, but they could get around that way. So you need to know your dog. You need to make the decision that's best for your dog. I would still recommend not using that if you have any question about your dog's recall or your ability to get your dog back if they get curious, because that opportunity to escape does still exist there. But if you have a dog that does have a recall and just wants to be able to run off leash, it is the most amazing spot to enjoy.
Yeah. Which brings us to firewood.
The relaxing part after they run like crazy.
Yeah. Leading up to the park, we didn't see any places outside of the park to purchase any firewood. So I guess we bought Provincial Park firewood. So you can see in the video there that I did pre-split it, and I did let it marinate in the sun for a little bit. But yeah, so it was all right. It did its job.
I mean, this was later in August that we took the trip, so there is a chance that there is firewood that's available, for example, through July and the like peak of the season. But we just didn't see anything. So whether they had sold out earlier in the peak season or whether there isn't something, I'm not sure. But when we got there weren't options.
No, there wasn't any really other options besides the park wood. So
that said, if you regularly camp at Restoule and you're watching this and you know of a place that always reliably has firewood available, please leave that in the comments for anybody who might be looking for a spot, or for us in the future, because as I already admitted, we're going to be going back.
Yeah. Yep.
But with all of that out there and all of that to consider, I guess that brings us to the most important part of these review videos, which is our final review. As you guys know, we rate a paw rating system, so it's paws out of 5. The highest we've ever given is a 4.5 because we don't believe in giving perfect. I believe every park has something it could improve. But as far as Restoule goes, it's really high up there. Now, I can't give it the top score because I felt that the privacy on the sites was lacking a little bit from some of the other options we've gotten to. Yeah. I can't overcome it lacking, but I can't give it an even higher score because that privacy wasn't there the same. That said, the off-leash dog area takes it way above any other park where we were like, yeah, well, you know, it's not that private. There's not that much to do. Like that off-leash dog area was everything. And then you factor in like the trails that were available. Like for example, to be able to bring Lucifer on the Rangers Point Trail and to have him be able to swim and hike and enjoy himself that much. I mean, that puts it way ahead again. So for me, I think it's a 4 paws out of 5.
Yeah, 100% 4 paws for me.
So highly recommended. As I said, we're going back. But that's Restoule Provincial Park. So anybody who might be interested, that is everything you need to know to consider planning your next trip. Now, we do have another trip. We just admitted at the end of the video where you actually saw us at the park. We do have another park coming up, and that is Fairbanks.
Fairbanks. Yeah, I always get confused with Fairbanks because it's not
Fairbank.
Fairbank. with Fairbank, because I don't know, for whatever reason I always think it's named another. I always think that has like a different name to it other than Fairbanks, but it's Fairbank. But I don't know, I get confused with Murphy Point. I don't know why. Anyways, but yeah, Fairbank will be our next provincial park that we'll be reviewing.
And it will have a similar background to this because it's another one where we were missing that little review portion. So we're going to make sure to get that filmed for you and get that up as soon as possible. But there we have it. We are already planning our 2025 season. We've got some parks booked. We're looking into some others. So make sure to hit subscribe and join us to see even more pet-friendly adventures around Ontario.
Yeah, and I don't have a coffee, but stay toasty.